Today, the landslides in Wayanad have claimed more than 300 lives till now. What message will you give to the people of Kerala? This is a very trying time for them.
My sympathies and empathy with them because they have become victims of something that is, on one hand, happening at global scale. They are not to blame. It's a thing that we are causing to our planet with our lifestyles, whether they're in New Delhi, New York, London, Beijing. So people in hills like Wayanad or Ladakh have to bear the consequences. So I feel very sad about that. If we then use the policies that are not adhered to, policies are not particularly short of in our country. They are good. But then when it comes to execution, they are not adhered to. And often we do things in places that are fragile hills, like wide roads and blind, development of cities and hotels and all such things that are in the fragile areas like flood baths. So these then cause such mishaps that innocent people have to bear the consequences.
Right. In your assessment, did unchecked rise in construction and tourism lead to this tragedy?
I'm not sure about Wayanad. I'm told that that's one of the big reasons. But I see in the Himalayas how, people who have business interests, vested interests, and leaders who support them or who get their support do things as if there's no tomorrow. That you benefit from these today, and then our elections happen only every 5 years, but people who live in the local areas have to bear the consequences for generations. So therefore, I think wherever such unchecked development should not happen, there should be a system in place, and that should be adhered to strictly. We should learn from countries like Chile, who are so particular about, it's a very disaster-prone country, but the losses are so minimal. That's mainly because of how they take the policies, not because they have better policies than us. They really stick to those, and that pays them back in times of disasters.
Right. Mr. Wangchuk, how can we balance economic interest with ecological interest? I think that's a very important balance that needs to be maintained. But how do we do it, according to you?
So this is one of the biggest problems, because we see the current gains, profits for businesses and companies, and we don't see the long-term consequences. Like in the Himalayas also, businesses come, set up their industries and exploit the natural resources, make the ecology poorer and the hills and the landscape weaker for such disasters. And then when disaster strikes, they are not there. It's the government who has to use taxpayers' money to repair things. This is very unfair. So when we allow any such people or businesses to profit from these, we must see the long-term consequences and make it that much more difficult for them. But unfortunately, that's one shortfall of democracy. Our leaders, our officers do not see beyond 5 years. And such things do not happen in 5 years. They happen in, 20 years, 30 years. So we have to have better systems that are adapted to the realities of nature rather than our 5-yearly election cycle.
Yes. Okay. Tourism now is one of Kerala's biggest sources of income. What can be done to promote sustainable tourism, sir?
Yes. So tourism on one hand is a great blessing for people in faraway places, but then it has to be limited so that its damages do not outweigh the benefits. So whether it is in numbers or in the way tourism is conducted, You can't have the same life as in big cities, in the faraway, remote tribal hills. You have to adapt to the way people have adapted to those landscapes and make that a learning point for those who visit. They should visit to learn from the differences that such places require from peoples and how they live. So therefore, there should be checks on tourism, whether it is Ladakh or Wayanad. We shouldn't, reap benefits or rather exploit today and pay for it in long term. That's what's happening, and I've seen it here in our mountains also. So better balance of what lies tomorrow. Now, this is difficult for people and businesses to do because they're carried away by the short-term gains.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.